Oh well. So bed hair aside, guys, let's get on this next video. Last time we went over the beginner, intermediate, and how someone who's moving out of a beginner type program, a full body type program that encourages lots of linear progression, how they would slowly transition out of that. And today we're going to go over what someone who's smack in the middle of the intermediate phase should do. And again, I think most of us, we don't end up intermediates because we did everything the right way. We end up intermediates because mostly out of just sheer willpower and just being consistent, applying some sort of nutritional strategy to your weight training and your hard work in the gym. That's usually why we end up intermediates, and usually we just kind of delay the process a whole lot more. I know for me that was the case. I think I started doing full body circuits when I first started working out, and then at some point I read somewhere that I should eat protein, so I started having protein post-workout. But yeah, I went about it the wrong way, but I worked hard and I was consistent, so eventually I did find myself an intermediate bodybuilder, even though I had no clue as to what I was doing most of the time. And what an intermediate bodybuilder should be doing? Well, at this point, your workouts, I think, are not going to quite be the way they're written out in Flex magazine or in a lot of those cool magazines with inspirational pictures. But you are going to, at least split up regions. And the upper-lower, I think, is a great way to approach your training. And it's a great way because it makes it real easy to not go overboard with the volume. It makes it real easy to hit body parts with a little bit more frequency than traditional splits offer. So I'm all for it. So let's take a dive and see what I think generic split for an intermediate level bodybuilder should look like. So an upper lower type split. And as far as the days, very flexible. You can set them up to how your schedule works, simply because of other things you have to do, which are equally as important as working out, such as work, school, family, those kind of things. So upper lower can totally be a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Totally up to you. So you just kind of work that out with your schedule, and of course also just as important, your recovery abilities and what you feel works best for you in terms of progress. Let's dig in. So the upper light, lower heavy, upper heavy, lower light, this miscellaneous upper light day, which we will go over in a sec. And the upper light, very straightforward, 4 to 6 sets, 6 to 10 reps. A horizontal row, 2 to 3 sets, 6 to 10 reps. And remember, we want to get twice as much rowing as we do pressing. That's just something I like to preach. Might not be for everyone. Everyone might not agree with it, but I really think it's a good idea, especially because, again, your shoulders take such a beating from all the open chain movements we do as bodybuilders, and it's a wise investment. And again, it doesn't hurt to favor your back a little bit more, since back muscles win shows. So after the dumbbell incline, we go into an overhead press, 2 to 3 sets rather than 4 to 6, because your shoulders were surely participating when we were doing our chest pressing. So not so much there. These two movements here just kind of pick up the spares that might have been left over from this. So the shoulders, played a role in this movement, of course, but they weren't the prime mover. And same thing with the chest. The chest definitely was one of the prime movers here, but to pick up the spares, we'll throw in some flies. And here's our second rowing option. And this rowing, the second rowing exercise of the day, I like to do chest supported, simply because your torso might be just a little taxed from the cable rows, the barbell rows, or whatever it was you picked for your first row. So the first row I can be a little bit liberal with, but the second row of the day I definitely like to see it chest supported. And then of course the tricep extensions and the bicep curls, because chicks dig that, and that's important. Okay, so moving on to the lower day. Lower heavy. Okay, so 3 to 5 sets of squats, 3 to 5 reps, 3 to 5 sets of deadlifts, 3 to 5 reps, leg curls and calves. So all in all, not a lot of volume on this day. We're just really trying to move some heavy weight. And right around this point in time for most intermediates, it's really important that you really start to encourage them that, you know, it's not about necessarily working harder than the next time. It works as a beginner, but when you're at this phase here, you have to be a bit more strategic about how you approach your efforts in the in the big lifts. So, for example, most of these here, we would probably do them with, you know, 2 reps in the tank most of the time, and really just focusing on improving that bar speed. So say this guy can deadlift 300 pounds for 7 reps, we would do something like 5 sets of 4, where he would really just be working on having good bar speed through all of his sets and reps. So again, it's really important that you pick your spots when working close to failure, specifically on these big lifts, and specifically as you become more advanced, and you know, you go from a 200-pound squat to a 300-pound squat to a 400-pound squat, and so on. So we really have to consolidate and organize our efforts when it comes to these big movements. Okay, so upper heavy. There we go. Now it's focusing. Okay, so the upper heavy bench press is 3 to 5 sets, 3 to 5 reps, and you know, the same approach we had in the squats and deadlifts. It's a valuable skill to have and learn. You know, learning to progress with 1 or 2 reps in the tank, really focusing on perceived effort and bar speed. Those are a must, and I think to me, once I really learned to do that, man, did I see improvements that, you know, for the longest time I couldn't, you know, with any other approach. And it was a very simple way to organize my training, and as much as it felt like I was sandbagging it for not grinding out that last rep, it really paid off in my strength gains. So, important skill. Horizontal rows, 3 to 5 sets, 5 to 8 reps, and this is about as heavy as I like to go on rows with most folks, simply because anything heavier than that ends up turning into some kind of hip and lower back movement. So 5 to 8 reps is about the sweet spot for that. And this one, you know, I would probably do chest supported, simply because our torso is probably a bit tapped out from this day. And then I would do some kind of chest press. You know, a hammer strength machine would be a good option for this if you have those, or maybe a flat dumbbell press. So just to, again, to pick up the spares and add a little volume, which is definitely a bit more important once you're an intermediate level bodybuilder. Some vertical rows in the 8 to 12 rep range. My favorites are neutral grip, and you know, I would rather do a seated pull down than a pull up in most cases, simply because with weight fluctuations and you know, again, I think going back to shoulder health, I think people tend to do some weird, wacky things when it comes to pull-ups and chin-ups. So vertical rowing, I would probably stick to some sort of pull-down machine. Hammer strength also makes some great variations, or the moto rows. The moto rows that we've gone over in this channel, I think it was last month. Those are great options as well. And some lateral raises, simply because that front relaxed shot is important, especially to those guys out there that want to compete. So this would be a great day to throw in some lateral raises on a day that is a little short when it comes to volume and accessory work for the most part. Moving on, we have our lower light day, our vomit day. Okay, so some volume squats, 4 to 6 sets, 8 to 10 reps, 8 to 12 reps rather, and you know, a good way to approach this would be maybe do a movement that you can do for do a weight that you can do for 12 reps, and then just, you know, keep repeating that same weight until you can no longer stay over 8 reps. So it's a good way to add volume, and again, just work on your squat form, which is probably among the more technical lifts that a bodybuilder will do in the gym. Some single leg work, again, just to kind of correct some imbalances, and I think more often than not, most people can benefit from some extra single leg work. Some calf raises, which I like to throw in the middle of my leg days as little intermissions, you know, again, just to kind of give my legs a break. So then when I go back after doing my calf raises, this one would probably be seated. I would do my leg press with legs that are a bit more fresh because I kind of took this little intermission here. So I would do my leg press 2 to 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps, and then do some calf raises again, followed by some leg extensions, and damn, I am tired at this point, and then some leg curls. And that is a day. So a lot of volume on this day, and again, a good way to go about it is just find a weight that you can do in the higher end here. So maybe 12 reps, and then keep pounding away sets until you can no longer do them for the the bare minimum reps, which is 8 for the squat, 6 for the single leg exercise here, 6 for the calf raise. You get it. And that concludes the lower light day. So why do we have a third upper light day, and we don't have a third lower body day? So this is a good time to again play with that frequency, and especially on your lagging body parts. So one thing I like to do is, I think just if we only had these 4 days here, it would be an awesome split. But if there's something that's severely lacking, why not give it a 5th day? And let's just say that this guy, he needs more back development. So what we kind of done here is we've added a 3rd day to the work week. And usually nothing too out there. I think this is about the right amount of volume, and usually one major body part and then one smaller body part. That would be a good way to go about it. So say he lacked back and calves, we could just throw a few sets of calves on here as well. But something like, as long as it's under 70 reps for the most part, I think it's a good way to tack on some extra work. And again, I'd probably shy away from failure. Anywhere from 70 being the higher end of reps on this little bonus day here, and 40 probably being the lower end. I think it's a good way again to just kind of up the frequency without again jeopardizing your performance and your recovery through the bread and butter portion of this split. But yeah, that's just that's one way I would do it. And again, maybe there's this doesn't work for you simply because you've tried things similar to this and it didn't work, or the volume's too high or too low. But again, this is just a general idea as to what I would do with most intermediates, something along these lines. And next time when we discuss splits for an intermediate, we're going to get into an intermediate that's a bit more advanced. And where do we go from here? What do we tack on to kind of cater to this person's needs? So thank you guys. Thank you very much again for putting up with my lack of video editing. And my camera person, she's gone on vacation, so it's a bit tricky at times to get these done. But thank you guys for your patience, and again for all the positive feedback. And I'm glad that we are able to help a lot of you guys out there via the YouTubes, as the old folks will say.